Too many days in the darkness without a glimpse of the light. Running tired and broken and scared, but I swear I'll never give up the fight. I see you broken and beat, head pulled down over your eyes. Every part of you wants to surrender, but darling, you were meant to survive. With every star, we are born again. Open your heart, spend less time in your head. With every star, we are born again. Open your heart, spend less time in your head. Just like a seed in a garden, you will grow to be tall, staring out over miles of land without it, but wanting to build up walls. Lift me up in your branches, we can watch the sunrise. Just a couple of bruised up souls that believe that it was worth one more try. With every star, we are born again. Open your heart and spend less time in your head. With every star, we are born again. Open your heart and spend less time in your head. Too many days in the darkness without a glimpse of the light. Running tired and broken and scared, but I swear I'll never give up the fight. I see you broken and beat, head pulled down over your eyes. Every part of you wants to surrender, but darling, you were meant to survive. With every star, we are born again. Open your heart, spend less time in your head. With every star, we are born again. Open your heart, spend less time in your head. Just like a seed in a garden, you will grow to be tall, staring out over miles.
This is the Tipp Topp Podcast, the TIPPTOPP podcast, hosted by myself, Keaton Ditchfield, and we talk about everything to do with the outdoors. That's fishing, camping, hunting, birds, wildlife, conservation, and a whole lot more. This podcast is as raw, untamed, unedited, and unapologetic as nature. So buckle up. This is the Tipp Topp Podcast. And we are live. Welcome, gentlemen. Before we start, I just want to say, we have our couple of sponsors for these videos. We have a 10% discount at cmfcarp.co.za. They are stocking all kinds of awesome brands like NGT, Witchwood, Jag, Codex, Rogue, and awesome things. So make sure to go to cmfcarp.co.za and use the code ITTF123 and you will get a 10% discount. The link is in the description below. And then the second website, which we are also punting here today, is SNZ Tackle. Shiraz Ismail, the legend himself, go to snztackle.co.za. He stocks amazing brands like Corda, Fox, Stealth, Daiwa, Ridge Monkey, Akuma, and a whole lot more. Trust me, a whole lot more. So make sure to go to those local retailers. They are both local websites. Let's support our local guys, cmfcarp.co.za and snztackle.co.za. With that said, we have got the Specimen Academy gentlemen here. I'm so excited to have you. Today we have got Julio Pillay, the founding member of
What's up, lads?
Specimen Academy. Divan Heyns, social media genius. And
I wouldn't
Alex
call myself
Costa.
a genius.
Well, we can call you a genius. And we've got Alex Costa here, who was our fantastic member of Specimen Academy. Welcome, gents.
Nice to be here.
Thank you.
It is wonderful to have you on the channel. I really appreciate it. Guys, these guys are doing amazing things for the sport of specimen angling, and we'll get into that now. So, we have got an amazing announcements today to do on the channel. I'm so excited, but we're not going to do it now. We're going to make you buggers listen a bit before we do that. So, let's get started. Julio, tell us, how did and why did the Specimen Academy start?
All right, just to give you the short story, all right, is I've been involved in angling now since the age of 13 years old, fishing competitively in rock and surf. And, you know, I'm a fisherman at heart. That will never stop. And when I moved to Gauteng back in 2001, you know, I was exposed to a lot of different things, you know, and one of the things was freshwater angling. Now, as an angler, you got to fish, you know, you can't stop it. So my learning process began there. And what I will say is that it can be a harrowing experience for anyone. It's not easy. You know, back then versus now, things have changed so much, and that's an amazing thing. But the reason why we started the Specimen Academy was because of the huge amount of people who actually struggle to get into the sport. Okay, there's many people who actually veer away from the sport scared because the image that's portrayed to them is that specimen angling is more of an elitist sport. You have to have a lot of money. You have to have a whole bunch of kit, expensive stuff, and you know.
It definitely looks like it from the outside, 100%.
Outside looking in, yeah. And you know, getting into the sport as somebody who knew nothing really about it. You know, most of us, 99% of us, started out in conventional, and I did as well. That was the most accessible thing. But after getting into specimen for a bit, you realize that it's actually so easy. It's so simple. It's
on the good days.
on the good days.
Yeah, definitely.
I think getting into it, it's a more detailed, more focused approach, but all you need is a little bit of guidance in the right places. You need to speak to people who are actually wanting to help you, because one thing that I had a problem with, I had a lot of people who really didn't want to help me. They'd give me half the story or a quarter or a bit, and, you know, almost like this, and we're going to kind of keep some information or most of the information to ourselves sort of thing. So I'm like, listen, that's a bit unfair. So why
That's
not
similar to Tipp Topp. I also was thinking this whole secret thing is absolute rubbish. They're keeping it secret and keeping people from the sport. It's what a load of crap.
Yeah.
But yes, sorry, can't continue. I'm agreeing with you. I'm like, viva, bro, viva.
So by and large, the academy was put together to make, firstly, knowledge. We started off with just basic things, and we started off, I think it was 2017, with a WhatsApp group made of a few friends, you know, that wanted to get into specimen angling. My journey had already started a bit before that. So I was equipped. I saw my friends and my people around me struggling. And I said, you know what, we are going to start something where I'll just give a little bit of coaching here and there. And, we've grown from strength to strength to strength. And we've gone from a little no-name WhatsApp group over to the Specimen Academy. And our major focus is no more just here's a tip here and there. We focus on development of anglers as a whole, which I think is so much more effective than what we were doing before. Because we don't just touch on a few tips here and there. We go comprehensively into the sport. We look at it in depth. We look at it from every possible angle, whether it be your baits, your tackles, your rigs, your venues, your brands. But our main focus is on mindset, which I think is the most important thing. What's going to bring serious change to the sport? Yeah.
But I just want to take you back there because just for 2 seconds, I know you're on a roll. But I got a couple of comments of guys going, there's so much information, I don't know what to do. And those little tidbits of information that people are giving everyone else, if you're starting off and you don't know, for example, what a chod rig is, that you don't know what the hell a chod rig is. So how the hell are you going to apply that tip that they were giving about a chod rig?
Absolutely.
So what your methodology of doing a comprehensive thing, going, let's start you from the beginning. This is a chod rig. Then you can apply the tip that the other dude was talking about. This is what he's talking about when you put the putty on the bottom. It's that kind of thing that really helps the guys who know absolute blank canvas, know nothing, into potential anglers. Sorry, you were saying, you carry on.
No, and just to build on that point that you just made, there are a lot, and I'll reiterate what I said before. Things have changed a lot. All right? There's a lot more access to information these days. There's a lot more detail and resources all over the place for anglers to actually pick up a few things. Where we want to start with, and where we feel our strong point is, and something I'm very passionate about, is the general mindset of an angler. Anyone can tell you, listen, use this rig here, do this here, do this there. What we want to do at the Academy is do more than just be a group of anglers. We're a community that invests in the total feeling around fishing, the happiness around fishing, the conquest, the victory that comes with breaking a PB. We want to experience that with you and also be like, listen, you've got, hypothetically speaking, let's go back to the chod rig, all right? We talk about the chod rig. It's not just use a chod rig and this is how you make a chod rig, all right? We go much further into detail. So we'll speak to you about the type of bottom you've got to be fishing a chod rig on. We're going to talk to you about the different types of pop-up presentations because there's more than one. It's not just quickly putting on a pop-up on a choddy and casting it out. I mean, you can do that, but there's so many other ways that will impact your fishing. Because
and that will make it better.
Yeah. Specimen angling is such a focused format of fishing. And I think this is what makes it a bit scary for a lot of people. There's so many different ways and means to get one thing done, which is catch a fish. And everything is honed in on and targeted and detailed and can be very intimidating. So here at the Specimen Academy, we look at taking all that information, putting it into an accessible format amongst the most, and I'm going to say this, the most brilliant bunch of anglers on our group. We've got everyone from your entry-level people who've literally just started all the way up to your super senior anglers that are representing clubs and provinces and owners of brands and all that good stuff. And take all that and put it out there. And what that information does is it starts planting a seed that it's okay to learn and it's okay to share that information. You look at our motto, learn, share, support, grow. And those things, we can all learn, but the sharing, the supporting, and the growing is what's lacking. Everyone can provide an information or instruction or how to. Very few people take the time to invest in you as an angler. What do you need?
Yeah, I hear you. Alex, as a member, what's your experience with the group? Have you been finding that all this stuff is happening?
No, for sure. I mean, if you go back, I think it's about a year and a half ago, I was in that exact same position, getting new in the specimen game, coming from a from a bass background and a conventional type of angling background, and getting into specimen, one is quite hesitant. There's a lot of things that you see on YouTube and you hear of a lot of things, and actually getting started is the most important part. And I think where the Specimen Academy came into play is putting it into perspective for you. One thing that I think is the biggest issue with most anglers starting out is the overthinking of things. It's, as Julia said, it actually gets very simple. Once you're in it and you're feeling comfortable and confident, which is key. Confidence is key in the sport. Once you're at that level, it really changes your angling. And I think the Specimen Academy gives you that platform, not afraid to ask a question. If you're struggling at a specific venue, guys, listen, I'm fishing this venue. This is my approach. Am I doing anything wrong? And, there's guys that will come up and assist you. And I think that's the beauty of that platform. Members are growing on a daily basis. And I think that's evident to what Julia and the guys have done. A lot of effort has gone into it, and the results are showing.
And Divan, in terms of managing these groups and stuff like that, how has it been? Have there been how many? What's your numbers at the moment in terms of your WhatsApp groups?
Okay, our WhatsApp group is currently full, so at the moment we are looking for ways to accommodate. For the third time.
So how many members do you need to fill up a WhatsApp group? I've never been on a full one.
256, I believe.
Sure, that's 256 guys talking about fishing.
Basically, yeah. And
that's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. And we have a trade post group as well, which is specific for buying and selling items. We have a couple other groups to accommodate people that like to just talk rubbish all the time. So
yes, what was the name of that? What was the name of that? The break room.
There we go.
The nonsense talkers.
There we go.
It rhymes with akpraat.
Yeah.
There we go.
That group.
Definitely.
Julia, we were talking about it beforehand when we were chatting together. You said something that really hit me in terms of you didn't want to remove people from groups. Now I know in past groups that I've been on in WhatsApp and that kind of thing, people sometimes get removed because maybe there's a disagreement or whatever. With you guys, you've got like a policy where you're like, no, everyone's welcome. Doesn't matter who you are, what style of this or that you do, what your opinion is. We're all in this together, to quote High School Musical. We're all in this together, and you guys made a couple of groups for maybe some guys don't want to talk about tips, but just want to see what secondhand gear is out there, or if there's a special on, or you guys got other guys that probably just send memes all day about fishing with a break room.
Yeah, so to give you a little bit of information about that. It's what I said earlier. The Specimen Academy is not a group. It's not just a team of people together to talk about fishing. We're a community. And where that's different is that a community has to accept everyone for who they are. We cannot say to you, and we cannot groom the population that we have here. We cannot help everyone if we, pick and choose. That's going against what we stand for. So when it comes to removing people, we have a strict policy that doesn't matter who the admin is, whatever it is, nobody removes a member unless you speak to me first and unless we've gone through absolutely every single possible option that we have at our disposal to rectify the situation. Okay, so that's number one. We don't like removing people. We feel that, everyone is different and everyone adds to the community. Everybody brings stuff in, and a clear example of that is the break room. Okay, and I say this and I say it a million times. I love the break room. It might be the area where all the shit stirrers go, and all the kafraters go, and all of that. But let me tell you, it is a group of the most loyal, most fun-loving, most light-hearted, and some of the most real people that I know in the sport are on that break room. And if we
that's sometimes what fishing is about, because
absolutely
it's a social thing. You're going to talk with your mates. You're all passionate about the same thing. You're going to talk a bit of rubbish, have a bit of fun, and if you blank at the end of the day with that, you still had a wonderful jaw with your mates.
Absolutely. And I mean, So what we've done is we've said everyone deserves a space, right? So we can't have everything flooding in on the main group. The main group is exactly what it's there to do, is to develop anglers, okay? And fishing is our main focus, okay? So we've created the break room, and we've created the trade post for people who are wanting to trade in tackle, promote their products and services, all of that. And
so you've got like proper brands selling stuff there as well.
yeah, absolutely.
Are we allowed to say what brands you guys have got on those groups?
Yeah, so basically anyone who's a brand member or anyone who has a brand and is a member of the academy gets noted as a brand member. So that means that obviously you're a brand, you're part of the community, so we need to look after you. Looking after our local brands is looking after the backbone of the specimen angling sport. Without them, we'd literally be back in the Stone Age. So we have to give them a platform to be heard, to be seen, and to obviously grow their business as well with our support. So
and the guys are local. We should support local guys, especially in a time like this. We've got to, if we don't support our local guys, who will?
And I mean, look, I'll be honest, this guy here, SNZ, okay, one of the driving forces behind the academy. He's always been there for us. I have to give him a shout out. Shiraz Ismail of SNZ Tackle. You are the man. Thank you so much for all your support. We're talking Mark from Psycho Baits. We're talking Calvin from Stealth Baits, Johan from Fish Clinic, Jason Giladi from Evolution Baits, and the list goes on. DH43 down in KZN. Wonderful oak, amazing products. And you know, there's so much more. If I haven't mentioned you, I'm sorry, but we thank every people. There's tons of brands.
With this whole developing anglers thing, now I knew Shiraz at the beginning of It's Tipp Topp Fishing, when it was called It's Fishful Thinking Days. Yeah, that's how far back I know this guy, and he literally did what you guys do, but on a personal level. So whenever you went into his shop, he'd gauge where you are and then help you out one step at a time. And if anyone believes in the development of our sport and the sharing of knowledge, it's Shiraz.
Absolutely.
Not even a question.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like there's a lot of other people who do it too. But ever since I've known Shiraz, he's cared about the little guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
When Shiraz actually came to me, while we were still a little WhatsApp group, a small little WhatsApp group, okay, well, we maybe came up to about 100 members, but by the time Shiraz got involved, and he said to me, Julio, this is amazing. What you're doing is amazing. It is not like everything else out there, and people deserve to have access to this. So I need you to seriously think about going on Facebook. I need you to think about getting advertising out there for your group so that people can come in and join and see what's happening and start learning and getting involved. And that was just a chain reaction. He was the first person to ever share from a business perspective, a company or brand, anything about the academy. He's the first one who took it and said, guys, look at this. He introduced it to his people, and it's been a snowball effect. And it's just so many people have come in since then. And I think just to close up on the point that I was making earlier about the different groups. So we've got the trade post, we've got the break room, we've got the main group, and why it's there. You find a lot of groups that have multiple facets to their team or the group or whatever it is. We don't just see it as a place where we put stuff that we don't want on the main group. Every single one of our groups is taken 130% serious, because we have people on there that want to be there and there alone, or want to spend more time there. Even when it comes to our raffles and promotions and giveaways, we have specific break room giveaways and raffles. We have trade post giveaways and raffles. We have everything for each and every group, because it's not just a group to place people that we don't want on the main group or topics we don't want on the main group. It's an extension of our community and shows how diverse we are and how we cherish that diversity at the academy.
But that's a lot like our country. I love our country because of how diverse it was. Like, absolutely. I've done, for those who follow me on Facebook and stuff, I do a lot of traveling because of my work and stuff.
Yeah.
And when I went to Turkey for 6 months or China for 4 months at a time, one of the biggest things is it's so plain. You see the Turkish people, and most of them are Turkish people. With our country, every second person is a completely different culture, different language. We've got so much beautiful diversity in our country, and your groups are like that. We've all got our different cultures, our different backgrounds, and whatever, but we all come together to make our beautiful country, or to make Specimen Academy as a specimen fisherman, that kind of thing.
Spot on, Keaton. It's so important.
We need to remember that.
It's not only the diversity that comes with each and every person, but you know what, I'm going to say it's a touchy subject, but for some reason it's a touchy subject, but I don't see why. But when it comes to the types of people involved in fishing, and our goal is to expand so that people who want to get into fishing, and demographics that haven't really had access to proper training and proper coaching and tuition and resources, that they have it as well. Right? So we want everyone in on this. We want everyone to come and experience the sport, and I can tell you, it is only going to benefit the sport. And
definitely.
Yes, it might make the venues a little bit more busy.
Yeah.
But if you've got more people believing in the same thing, that'll mean more people caring about those venues, more people protecting those venues, more people going, whoa, don't stop fishing at that venue. We care about that venue, and if you want, we will look after it. It was. I had a Facebook argument, which I try not to get into too many times, with I was a member of Westeen's group, Westeen. I love Westeen group, and some lady posted a photo of ducks and stuff that were tangled in gut in fishing line. Now that's terrible. 3 of those photos were from Westeen, and then 4 were found somewhere on Google. Like there was a polar bear with a thing around his head, and that was a toy in a zoo. And I was like, listen, lady, you've got a genuine issue here, but don't mix it with the other crap. And then we started to talk, and she was like, no, fishermen are all bad, they're messing, and I said, wait a minute, let's use fishermen as a way to solve the problem.
Absolutely.
And for example, Westeen Dam has got some amazing carp. Like back in the day, there was that pollution thing, and they killed many carp. Like there were hundreds of dead 16-kilo carp. But now there are still big carp in there. I'm talking 13-kilo plus fish in there. So I said to her, why not let's organize it so that we create a syndicate or a club or whatever, and there are set swims with anglers and someone who manages it. Everyone pays their yearly fees for it, so it pays for the upkeep of it. And then there's a register of those swims and who can fish in it. So that number one stops people from fishing there who shouldn't fish there, in terms of leaving lines out, tying lines to trees, that kind of stuff.
Yes.
And then it also makes people accountable. Because if you go and fish there, say Keaton goes and fishes there, and I leave that fish in a hell of a swim, the person who manages hell of a state, the person who manages that will go there and see on his clipboard Keaton fished there, and he left it as a huge mess, left lines everywhere for ducks to get their feet caught in. Okay, cool. Keaton, you've got your warning. If you do it again, you're never fishing here again.
Yeah.
And therefore, Keaton will go, oh, I messed up, I better fix it. Or if Keaton's an asshole and does it again, then we don't get those fishermen there.
Yeah.
Got a phone call here. So let's use the fishermen to solve the problem, because we, as fishermen, can manage things and we can look after stuff if we work together. And the lady eventually was like, yeah, but you don't have to get the ducks and catch them and stuff. I said, I'm happy to help. You can use my net if you like. Here it is. I'll put it at the front door. Fetch it whenever you like. And she never fetched it. So she was a Facebook warrior. But we can solve these things together if we stand together as a community.
I think a lot of people...
Sorry,
I was going to say, I think
and
the
Divan,
key to that as well is also educating the anglers. You know, and I think that's what the Specimen Academy does, you know, educating the anglers how things need to be done, and looking at that bigger picture, because you look at Europe and you see some of the venues in Europe and you're like, I dream to fish there, you know.
Yeah, it's
but
mint.
South Africa, exactly. South Africa does have the potential. I mean, any place has the potential if the right effort and if the right education is on the back end of it, it can be done. And I think that's the key. And this is where the Specimen Academy comes in, educating those anglers, especially the newer anglers. And I see there's a lot of fathers and mothers on the Specimen group that are getting their small youngsters in the sport, teaching them from a young age how to do carp care and all those things. And that's crucial. That's how you're going to change the sport in this country. And I think it's definitely going in the right direction. The numbers speak for itself. And excited to see where it goes.
I think Specimen Academy does one thing different to a lot of people. Because a lot of people said, they must teach people how to do it. They must tell people not to do. Specimen Academy said, no, I must teach people how to do that. I must tell them not to leave the lines. I must tell them use a landing mat because it helps. It costs you $100 and then you've got it forever. And then the fish looks great and the fish can go back and grow big and you can catch it again.
Yeah.
I love it. So
it's about that image, like what I spoke about earlier. We try and give people a better image of themselves as an angler. And I think that mindset is so important. Who am I? What am I when I identify as a specimen angler?
What do I represent?
What do I represent? Okay. And what we want to do is generation by generation, whether you join the group today, tomorrow, 1 month down the line, 3 months down the line, 2 years down the line, 5 years down the line, what type of people and what type of anglers are we growing in this country? You know, we have some of the best waters, some of the most amazing climate, you know, for carp and for fishing and stuff like that. And what you say is 100% correct, Keaton, about fishermen being villainized in society. We are.
Those damn fishermen and always living
around. And whatever.
Nobody talks about the fact that Julio, Divan, Keaton, Alex, and many others leave their dam or leave their area in the dam better than how they found it, especially in a public water.
Yeah.
We
My
clean
favorite
our
thing,
spot. You know,
my favorite saying is leave only your footprints behind.
Yeah.
Spot on. Right? And so many anglers do that, but there's not a single article out there that will talk about the good things that anglers do. I've rescued animals multiple times. Okay, I've gone waded into the water and taken out bin bags full of lines that have been cut off and lines. But you see, when I was doing that and I was filling up these bags, the question that I was asking myself wasn't what's wrong with these fishermen. The question that I'm asking is, what kind of image does this fisherman have of himself? Because he can be better and he wants to be better. And if you show him that he can take pride in it and he can be proud of being an angler and people stop villainizing us in society, you can be proud. I mean, if you look at the UK, anglers chest puffed out, head held high. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going fishing. Yeah. And I'm going to catch an amazing fish and I'm going to keep this place immaculate. I'm going to, you know, everyone loves me because they know when I come in there, I'm doing everything on the highest possible level. And I want people to have that image of themselves that you can be proud of being an angler, especially in our space, a specimen angler. Be proud of it, own it, and know that it's not just you involved here. It's looking after the fish, looking after the environment, looking after your fellow specimen anglers, looking out for each other at the dam, and anywhere else for that matter. Some of the great things that have happened is that people from our group go and fish in other provinces or in far off locations and stuff like that, and they're stuck with something or they have a problem with something. Do you know how many times, it's countless times, that our own members are like, listen, I'm in that area, I'm going to go help him. I'm in that area,
That's amazing.
I'm going to go sit with him. And we're talking different provinces, but we're talking...
And people who don't know each other before.
They don't know each other. They just know they're members of the Specimen Academy and they go out and they help each other. And that's the support that we talk about when it's learn, share, support, grow.
And it makes a lot of sense. We as specimen anglers sit around quite a lot because it's part of the game. There's limited amount of big fish in the dam and we are willing to wait for it and put our rigs and our traps there for them. While we are sitting around, why not pick up a couple of pieces of paper? Why not clean up the swim? Because if we all do that, if all fishermen do that, people won't go, oh, damn it, those fishermen are back. They'll go, oh, yes, let's get some more fishermen in because they clean up the place.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
The mindset.
And it's that kind of thing. It's so nice. And then what's it in terms of your image? If you show people what they represent and like their behavior, it's like some of those Facebook things I've seen where like a hairdresser, his charity work is he goes around and he's a posh like hairdresser. He goes around, finds homeless people and gives them the treatment, the star treatment, gives them an amazing haircut. You must see how those people behave, the homeless people behave afterwards. And all of a sudden, they've got like a jump in their step, walking like you said, chest puffed out. I'm so proud. And if we do that about our swims, and we are proud of each other, don't mess with Specimen, guys. We look after our places. We do it. And I'm not discluding, I don't want to rule out papgooi guys and bass fishermen because that's a fishing thing. We can all look after that duck that's injured. We can all pick up those packets. We can all remove those lines from that tree. If we all do that a little bit, it'll make a massive difference. Now, I want to get to another little subject, okay?
Yeah.
And it's got to do with you guys looking after other people. Now, there are a lot of raffles going out on Facebook. Now, a lot of things are to get some sales out the door that people wouldn't usually be able to afford. Like, it's a great opportunity. Like, I know, I think it was Kingfisher that did one, that 70,000 Rand thing. A lot of people wouldn't be able to afford that kit because that kit's amazing. So you enter a chance in that. You guys have taken it a step further in terms of helping guys out. Explain that for us, please.
All right. So when it comes to our raffles, and before I get into the actual question itself, a lot of people tell me, Julio, the Specimen Academy for Development Group does a lot of raffles. You do a lot of raffles. Yeah?
You do.
And we're seeing a lot of raffles. It's almost the same amount as your articles and things like that you also do. So what's the reasoning behind that? And I'm going to ask a question here, and I'm going to ask it to you guys, but I mean, it goes out to everyone. Before you started specimen angling, when you heard about it, when you saw it, what was the biggest concern about getting into the sport?
And for you guys that are watching on the live chat, pop it in the comments. What was the biggest things? Repeat your question there, Julio.
When you were getting into specimen angling for the first time, when you saw it, when you started speaking to people about it, what was your biggest concern about starting specimen angling, about getting into the sport? Divan, Alex?
It's
How
expensive.
much money am I spending?
That's the general idea, is that specimen angling is very expensive. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, two things quickly. It can really be an affordable way of fishing. It's just you have to change a little bit of your setup and things, but we'll get to that later. But you must have certain things. You must have certain things. When you want to up your game and go to the
We've got
next
some
level.
things coming through. Sorry to interrupt you.
No problem.
Arno Swart says one word, money.
There we go. There we go.
Panasin Partha, I think his name is.
Yeah.
Probably the gear I'd need. Money. It's a lot of money. And then Fakir Muhammad, shout out to Fakir. You're a legend. He always supports my videos. He also says what the cost would be. So there you go.
So the reason why the Specimen Academy employs a lot of raffles. Now, we are a development group, okay? Development exists in three facets in my eyes. Number one is obviously the knowledge and developing people from a knowledge perspective. The next one, you cannot just give people the information. What about those people that if I teach or if I do an article on spomming, for example, okay, and I say it's great, and I show you all the amazing things that spomming can help you with in your fishing.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. Burton Rania. It's cuck expensive.
But
That's a good one. Sorry, you're saying you're spamming.
Right? And I write this most amazing article about how it can improve your fishing and all of that, but I leave it at that. I don't think that's good enough. I don't think that's development. I think that I need to give you an opportunity to have that. And whenever we do an article, whenever we do a venue focus, a brand focus, a tackle review, whatever it is, we take the subject matter, whether it's a fishing session at this place, whether it's a bit of tackle, whether it's, this and that, and we give everyone the opportunity to have it via Raffles, right? Because it's the cheapest way for someone who cannot afford a 5,000 Rand piece of kit to spend 200 Rand and have a chance of having it, okay? And another thing that I want to make very, very clear is that the Specimen Academy has always and will always have non-profit raffles. We do not believe in making profit on our raffles at all. Everything is given. We have two rules when it comes to how raffles are priced. Number one, if it is a brand new item, it will always be the total cumulative amount of the tickets is lower than on the shelf price, retail price at the shop. Okay? It is lower if you add up all the tickets.
I really love that because it lowers the ticket price.
Yeah.
But how, like, in my head, business-wise, because I know a non-profit is a non-profit, you do not make money from it. That's the end of story.
Yeah.
But you lower the ticket price, doesn't that kill your next giveaways?
No. Because in a community that's built on the most, once again, I'm going to reiterate it, the most amazing people in specimen angling, you will find them on the Specimen Academy. Right? Our brands come to the party every single week in, week out. We have probably, we've given away, I think it's close to 70,000 Rand worth giveaway for free, for mahala, of gear, tackle.
As in bait, not earn money
not
from raffles, as in just...
not raffle.
As in just, I mean, I'm good. There's one person on the group, right, who literally comes in there like Father Christmas. He's like, guys, first one, the one who spams Julio's WhatsApp the most, whoever can send him the most messages in the next 2 minutes, gets this for free. Literally,
I sent one.
I've had over 2,000 messages in a span of 2 minutes hit my WhatsApp. And I'm
good.
And I sent 3,500 WhatsApps in 2 minutes one day for a scale back.
And I mean, it's everything. The oak comes in there. I'm going to say it's Shiraz from Essence Tackle. He comes in and he just spoils everyone on the group. But it's not spoiling for the sake of spoiling. It's giving people access to things that they otherwise would not have. And that is just one example. Mark from Psycho Baits has given us vouchers for our members. Kelvin from Stealth Baits, always willing. I mean, if we come up with an idea for stealth stuff, I'll say, listen, this is what the budget I was thinking about, and this is how much. He's like, all right, add another 5 kilos on there, add another 4 bottles of Tiger, add this, add that, and don't worry about it.
I've got to do a quick shout out to Kelvin, because that is also a man I respect a lot, because the amount of times because he works a full-time job as well, hey? Let's not even get a question.
Yeah.
He works a job and he's got stealth baits. And do you know how many times he has had an opportunity to fish once in like 3 months, 4 months? And he's given up that opportunity because one of his customers have said, listen, I'm going fishing tomorrow. I really need bait. And he has given up his or not tomorrow, but like next weekend or whatever. He's given up his opportunity to fish himself for someone else. And that, if that doesn't say that he cares about the sport and cares about people and his customers, then I don't know what does.
Yeah. And I mean, you know what's the most humbling thing for me is that these are not all major big brands that we all know about. I mean, we have had companies like DH43. DH43 is by far one of the best kept secrets in specimen angling. Their products are phenomenal. Why a lot of us don't know about it is because they're out in KZN and they're absolutely stumping the most beautiful fish out of KZN.
Right, Inanda.
In Inanda and other dams around there, and they're doing it on DH43 products. And you know, it's easy to say, listen, if I'm a big name, people know me, let me go out and do stuff. We've got brand members who have literally, they've just started up business, or they're still very small, and they come in there and they donate with the same veracity as any brand. They come in there, Julio, I want to give this to someone. I want to make someone's day. I want to give somebody the ability to fish with this product.
Yeah.
You don't find that anymore. You just don't find it. And you find it at the Specimen Academy because of the community.
Yeah, I remember what you said to me when we were talking about it. You said, step one is you support the new guys. All the guys that are established, you support the new guys. Then, once the new guys become the old guys and the new guys become the good guys, it's their responsibility to support the new guys, the new guys.
Mm-hmm.
And you start that community, you start that ball rolling, and before you know it, you've got this whole community that looks after everyone, and someone puts their hand, I'm starting Specimen, and everyone's like, welcome, but. And
Absolutely.
it's not some.
That
Okay.
is exactly it. Yeah.
I think it's time, Julio,
Yeah.
to do our big announcement. Everyone, let's do the drum roll.
All right.
What's this big announcement? Get it out of your system.
All right. I'm going to start off on the small side because we have more than one announcement here, people. Okay. I've been promising people on the academy, I've been promising our members big things coming. And I said, let's hear it on Tipp Topp. It's Tipp Topp Fishing first, all right? Because this is probably the best format for us to do it on. So we're going to start off.
Thank
There we
you.
go. That's the one.
Also, shout out to Keaton.
Yeah, shout out to Hugo, to the legends. Thank you.
Absolutely. So we've spoken about this just now, the fact that we've pulled out our WhatsApp group many times. Too many times for us to get to count, actually. It's more than 3 if we look at it historically. Right? And it's a problem because part of a community means being together. And if we're not together, we're not being as effective as we can. So we've had an experience of changing platforms from WhatsApp to Telegram. And you know what? We went in there all guns blazing. We did the best we could. But we received a lot of feedback that, technical difficulties with this format. And I'm going to be honest. Look, I'm here to say the easy things and I'm here to say the difficult things. It's pretty much been a bust. It has.
It sucked.
It sucked. Our Telegram group is absolutely down to like next to no conversation, next to no activity. And it really saddens me because these are people that are really important to us. Okay.
Yeah, and they're
So
passionate.
myself and the admin team have been working long and hard. And even some of the members that have been part of the beta testing and things like that, we have officially found a new app and we've been developing it and testing it. And you know what? Everyone's going to have the most amazing time on this app because it is, definitely. I'm going to show you guys right here. Okay. So basically, if you go on here, if you have a look at my phone, just to start off with, on the front,
We're looking.
you are going to see a whole bunch of little logos at the top there, okay? And that says Specimen Academy Main Group, Specimen Academy Trade Post, Specimen Academy Raffle Zone. So we're going to have a dedicated group for that. We've got our leadership group as well. And then if we go into that, here's an example of the academy. Can you see?
No.
Yeah,
Take
it's
it
a bit
closer
too
to the
shiny.
camera. There you go.
All right. Let me just drop this a little bit as well. Okay.
Your camera will adjust automatically, so good luck.
So yeah,
There you
we've got this is like the main group we've got, and what's great about this is that the problem that we had with online chatting and stuff like this, there's so much good information, so much epic information, venue specific, rig specific, bait specific, and it's lost forever under millions of messages. For you to come back 4 months later and remember, like, there was this bit of information that was shared, you'll never find it again. Good luck. Right? So in
can't
here,
store it.
actually, it's more of it's a combination of WhatsApp and Facebook, actually, because if you go through here, here's a whole bunch of our posts that will never get lost. You will always have access to it, and this is on the main page, which is the community wall. Okay, so that's the main group. And then if you look just at the top over there, you'll see a whole bunch of hashtags, right? So we do a whole bunch of content. How do you find the exact one? We've got hashtag venue focus. You click on hashtag venue focus, it only drops down everything related to venue focus.
Hashtag Ronnie Rig Tips.
Ronnie Rig Tips, hashtag Ronnie Rig Tips, click on that and it only brings that up. So whatever we've done on the community wall, which is all our official stuff, you'll have access to all of those without getting lost in chat. But where's
That's
the
brilliant.
chat, you might say. So right down here, you'll notice there's a little button there. We click on that button and we click on that. And here we've got a chat room, just like WhatsApp, almost identical in form and function. Yeah. And here's a whole bunch of chats. We've been testing the hell out of this thing, and it works amazingly. And if we go out of there, you will also see that we have that's the leadership group, but we've got the break room down here. We've got the trade post down here. We've got the raffle zone. And this very interesting, which is what I want to show everyone here quickly. It's the Academy TV, right? So it's Academy TV. It's where all our video stuff will go onto, all our live video feeds, everything will be on here first. So this we're setting up to be the one-stop shop for everything Academy. You'll still find us on Facebook. We'll still have presence on WhatsApp, but I promise you, after looking at a dross, and I'm talking dozens of apps, just to like bring it down to one or two that we can test, this app actually it outperformed everything. Yeah.
Can you tell us what it is yet? Or when is it available? Is it available now? You're killing us. We've got guys saying, what is its name?
We are going to actually do this. If you don't mind, Keaton, I'm going to send you all of the links for this format, with all the links to all the groups and all of that. We'll put it on maybe in the comment section or wherever you want to.
I'll put it in the description.
Put it in the description. Let's get everybody out on there. We're ready to start taking members. And here's also a pretty cool thing. If you have a look here under the trade post, when you have a trade post group like you have on WhatsApp, it's a whole bunch of guys just chatting and photos flying everywhere and this and that. It's a bit of a mess. But this is almost identical to Facebook Marketplace. All right, here we go. This is how you advertise your stuff. It comes up on the community wall. You can like it, you can comment on it. So instead of flooding a chat, you go straight into the comments and you can chat directly with the person that's posted it. Here's a setup here for sale. Here's a set of alarms for sale. It's got the description, the guy's contact details, everything on there. And the benefit of this app in its entirety as well is that we can also split up the important content from the chat, so you can always have access to that. But it also has a built-in scheduler. So when if we go into, for example, the raffle zone, right? We go into the raffle zone and the raffle date for the draw, for all of that will be in the scheduled events. So you'll never be able to miss a raffle because you'll immediately get a notification when we go live and it's pre-scheduled on there. Just being a member of this gets you access so that you don't have to miss anything. Everything happens live on there and it keeps you updated. And I mean, we can schedule our events, our team socials and any other events that are coming up. And you know, it's really, really amazing what you can do here. This app is designed specifically not as a group chat, but it's designed specifically for groups, associations, teams, etc., to get everything done in one area. So I can't wait to have everyone there. So
amazing,
the new app,
lovely.
The new app.
Should we read some of the feedback? Should we read some of this feedback?
Yeah, I'll read it out.
We got Burton saying, Julio, you beast, awesomeness, proud to be a Specimen Academy member. Craig, this is great. Great. Arno says, hell yeah, guys. IKP59, a lot of blood, sweat and tears goes into the Specimen Academy behind the scenes. Year of hard work, passion, dedication has gotten the Specimen Academy to where it is. Well done, Julio, and to everyone. That's nice, man.
You have no idea how much that means to me. That is the only thing that I want out from the Specimen Academy for me personally. Is to see you guys succeeding, to see you excited about your sport, to see you proud of yourselves as anglers, and we're going to continue doing that, and you're about to be a lot more happy. So we've covered the new app, which is going to be available to everyone from today. That's done.
In the description.
Let's go on to the second. We're
going to put the links into the descriptions for everyone. We'll put it on Facebook. We'll put it on the link in the description. We'll get you guys onto it. So we've got not just one big announcement. You've got two.
Actually, that wasn't part of the announcement, Keaton. That was just updates.
That was just the extra surprise.
That's not the big stuff. So this has been the app's been. We've been busy with it for the last 3 months. Okay, so
I think we started before lockdown with that thing. To be honest with you.
Yeah. So here we go with the first big announcement, something that we've been working on for probably the past 6 to 7 months. And, it's been a lot of up and down, a lot of talking, a lot of designing, a lot of testing. And the goal is for everyone that's been asking for it, for everyone that's been saying we need this for the last year and a half, the Specimen Academy will have its own official range of baits that will be rolling out probably by the end of July, if not second week in July. So everyone, you've got your baits, okay? And
Specimen Academy baits by the members.
There
by
we go.
all of the knowledge put together. Brilliant.
Everything. We are going to be running through the entire process with you guys, step by step, giving you sneak peeks and showing you how we go about designing these things and getting to a point and, going through the whole test phase with you guys. There'll be lots of freebies for everyone to try out and enjoy. And every bit of product coming out of this is two things I want to mention. Number one is everything that you guys have been asking for. It doesn't fall on deaf ears. This mind is forgetful, but this hears everything and these hands write down everything. Yeah? I have written down all the things that you guys absolutely love about boilies and love about, this type of bait and this pop-up and everything. And we're integrating all that feedback that I've been recording over the last year and a half into baits that are really going to get you guys going and make you very, very happy. The second thing that's very important about this, we have brand members, yeah? So maybe a lot of people will be saying, okay, but Julio, you're all about, helping our local brands develop and stuff. Don't you think, hard question, are you not stepping on somebody's toes? Are you not taking sales away from somebody? Very valid point. Very valid point. How can I support people and then take away at the same time? So what we are doing is that every single bait offered through the Specimen Academy in our official range will be collab baits between the Specimen Academy and all your favorite brands. All right, so SNZ is going to be there, Archie Baits is going to be there, Psycho Baits is going to be there, Stealth is going to be there. Everyone's going to be there, so everyone's going to get a turn. We're going to have 3 flavors that are available throughout the year and 3 types that are going to be available throughout the year. And every season, summer or spring, summer, autumn, winter, we are going to be collabing with 1 or 2 different companies and offering you a limited edition bait that will absolutely blow your mind. A recent chat with some of the brands, they're not just going to be doing maybe boilies for us or just boilies in a pop-up for us. They are going really deep into this and doing stuff with the academy that they actually don't even have yet for their own product lineup. We're going to have specialized mixes and specialized stick mixes and potentially particle mixes and pellets that are going to be made together to be used in conjunction with. So it's not just the same thing, but to augment your experience of fishing with this specific bait and improve it, and everything's been built around it. So number one,
amazing.
Yeah. Number one, let me just say thank you to every single brand that we've spoken to and that's shown their interest in it. Thank you to the 4 brands that have come to the front and given so much of support regarding this. A special thank you to the guys at SNZ Baitworks, specifically Andre from Archie Baits. What a piece of gold this oak is. You don't understand. He's been with me every single step of the way. And one thing, and I want to mention this, that I absolutely love about the Specimen Academy. Remember when I started specimen angling versus now? I've got every single brand coming to the table, and let's be honest, some of them have some differences. Some of them have maybe a little bit of beef, right? We can't hide away from this fact. Every single one of them have come together on the Specimen Academy and worked for a common goal, including these days. So I am very, very proud of every single person involved in this, and I cannot wait for you guys to get access to these baits. It's going to be amazing. It's absolutely
lovely.
So Specimen Academy, the official range, we'll send out some teaser photos and some of the types of flavors and stuff that we'll be having out for you guys still probably within this month, and we'll take it from there. So that's the first of our big announcements, and I'm so excited about it.
Absolutely brilliant.
I can't wait for this.
Okay, so you got an app, you've got baits. Have you got anything else? Or are you guys just overachievers all around?
No, we have one more thing.
One more thing.
Something small.
Just one small
Everyone,
thing.
look under your chairs. You're getting something. You're getting.
Yeah, here's Oprah. He's got 3 Oprahs here sitting talking to people.
All right, so you've got the Specimen Academy group. We're there to share the knowledge. We're there to share the gear, the tackle, all of that. You've got the baits. You've got the app. You've got all these great things to go and do your fishing in. But how about we give you a nice bit of water to put those rigs into? I think that's good because the Specimen Academy has officially got its own venue. Okay.
What?
Yeah. The Specimen, this is something that we've been working on for the better part of a year, and everything's finally fallen into place, and people are going to be seeing the details of that coming through by the end of the week. The Specimen Academy Lakes will be opened in the next 2 weeks.
That's incredible. A venue. You've got land with water and fish in it.
Yeah, not just one water. We're talking maybe in total, we're probably looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 8 or 9 different bodies of water on the one property. With with 2 quite decent sized.
Sizable lakes.
Yeah,
That's quite decent size. What's that? Couple of acres.
Oh, well, they're pretty good. I'm not gonna give too much of information away. I gotta leave something to the imagination.
You're teasing us, man. You give us this much, and then we're all excited, and then you're like, "No, well, you're gonna have to wait."
Yeah.
You're gonna have to wait just a little bit longer. What I can tell you though is that we are so proud to be in association with this place and to be doing what we're doing, because this is not going to be like any venue that you've ever been to before regarding your experience. Okay, we are a development group. What would we be if we just gave you a body of water to fish? Okay, we're taking it one step further. Not only are the facilities going to be developed to a point where it is literally a standalone, one-of-a-kind venue in South Africa, but we are pushing so that every single session you do there is a tutored session. Okay, people pay a lot of money for tutored sessions, and you know what? Not everyone can afford it. Not everyone can.
That's true.
Okay.
If you can afford it, it's great. But if you can't afford it, you're just going to have to make a plan.
I mean, coach sessions, tutored lessons, safaris are probably one of the most amazing ways for you to learn about the sport, because you learn about it firsthand from a professional over a certain period of time. And
can I do a quick announcement But I'll do a proper launch video.
Yes.
Someone else is going to start tutorialing people as well.
Ooh.
I'm going to start doing private.
Nice.
So
Nice, Peter.
if you guys have watched the last hour, you got a bit of things from Specimen Academy and me. But I'll do a video saying what it is and how it's going to work.
But Keaton, you made us wait, and now you're just telling us we have to wait longer.
I'm following your example.
We need to look at. I mean, if we give a shout out to some people, some of the people that have been doing it for so long. I mean, if you look at MCT, they've been
doing it for ages.
Really, I mean, they've invested so much time in getting people up to such a high standard with their safaris and stuff like that. So many
they're great.
And people that I know have gone on their safaris, caught amazing fish, learned amazing things, set a solid foundation, But being a development group and worried about our community, not everyone can afford that. And we need to supplement that. So whereas, a lot of places will charge you for a tutored session or whatever it is, we are going to be offering that to our members. It's not going to be a full time, this person's going to sit next to you the whole weekend at the dam.
Yeah.
It's going to be an hour at a time or half an hour at a time, 45 minutes at a time, depending what you need coaching on. And you can request that when you do your booking. So you can say, listen, I'm coming through. I would like some help on dropping lines with the boat. I'd like to know how that works, So our guy...
That's great, because that's a gradual process. For something like what I'm going to do, it's like a crash course. There's whatever you don't know, I will personally teach it to you to the best of my ability. But with your thing is you get this much, go away and practice it. Then when you come back, you know that, and then you're going to build to it, and then you're going to build to it. And then after a couple of times, you're going to be great.
What I love about it is the fact that even those that can afford a safari can't learn everything on one safari, right? They have to go on a few of them, or you have to practice. But with this, there's no rush. It's included in your normal fee when you book at the venue, and you can say, listen, whatever I don't learn this week, I'm going to learn at the end of the month on my next session, on the following week, in the following month. I can even, schedule something for you. If you call me and speak to me, maybe we can put a little program together over your next 4 or 5 sessions at the venue. Okay,
and that's so true. Like you could do one of those MCT weekends, and you do it, and you learn everything, and you put it in your brain. Then you come to me, I'll teach you different things, and then you go to Specimen Politics. There's a different thing, and then we go to your thing. And you'll learn some other things. That's what's so amazing about fishing. There's no set rules.
You keep on learning.
And then, you never stop learning.
And there's so many good things happening at the venue regarding developments and things that people are going to have access to that they would otherwise not have access to. Okay, I'm not going to spill the beans too much, but I'm basically going to say that most of the things that you're going to need hardware-wise, outside of your rods, reels, and end tackle, if you don't have it, we are going to have an amount of stock available so that you can lease it for the weekend. Why this is
That's
important?
Quite cool. That's similar to the overseas guys, where you rock up and a lot of the things are provided.
Well, now look, we obviously very big on carp care, so your carp care stuff is an absolute necessity. Okay.
Yep.
It's going to be a rule at our venue that you have to practice this. But I can't expect somebody who doesn't earn enough to actually even, he's saving up to come on this trip. I can't ask him to now go and spend another 3,000 Rand on carp care stuff, okay? Yeah. But what we will do is we'll facilitate to the best of our ability, starting with a few sets, working our way all the way up to till every swim has a set for itself, yeah? Where we're going to have a cradle for you, we're going to have a landing net for you, we're going to have a retainer for you, we're going to have your carp care medicine for you, and you're going to be able to rent it for your session, and it's going to come in at a fraction, not even a fraction, next to nothing, compared to going out and going to buy the stuff. For those that are going to be interested in learning how to boat and how to use a boat, an inflatable, whatever it is, we are currently in the process of making plans to make those available to the people as well.
Amazing.
We're also going to be setting up membership cards for everyone that joins. It's just like joining the academy. There's not much in it to be a member. You just got to be with us. You got to like us, follow us, whatever it is. So in the same token, we've applied that over to this venue, where it's not going to be like, this is the select group of people that can fish here, and this is the people who can't fish here. If you're not part of this group, you can't fish. It's not going to work like that. If you want to come to the venue, you come and sign up with us. You do a tackle inspection. We issue you with a card, and we're going to have a lot of seminars going on. We're going to have a lot of like a carp care course, a mini course in carp care. So once you've done that, we're actually going to accredit you for that on your card. When you do the boating course, we're going to accredit you for that. And the more stuff that you do like that, just builds up basically an entire CV for you of your fishing and your skills that you can actually physically and tangibly keep a track of. Like, listen, I think I need to go and do this mini course here. We're doing it for free. Just come and join us when we do it, okay? And also, there are going to be tackle inspections, and it's a very scary thing for a lot of people when they hear tackle inspection. We're not going to be hard on you. We understand the needs of a proper a dam of this level and a specimen angler, but we also understand the concerns for people with not much cash flow. So everyone's going to.
But things can be done. Like, you know what I mean? It's the tackle inspection just needs to look. The reason why it's there is to look after the fish, but you don't need a 40,000 Rand setup to look after fish. So I totally hear you guys, and there's certain things that you can do to make sure that the guy has got a line thickness that is stronger than this. You know what I mean? Or little things that make a big difference to the fish, but there are cheap ways of going around it. You know what I mean? You don't have to have Berkeley black velvet braid to go to the venue. But as long as you got something that's 20 pound and above or 15 pound and above, it's fine. It's just to rule out guys going there with 3-pound line trying to catch a 20-kilo carp. It's just
Now look, our guys in the tackle side and the people that are going to be at the venue are extremely experienced anglers. I'm more concerned about line diameter than I am really about breaking strain, because I mean, by and large, our specimen lines are higher in diameter, lower on breaking strain. Overseas, I mean, these guys are landing 50-pound plus carp, 60-pound plus carp on 15-pound line. All right, it's the diameter that's a big issue for snags and things like that. So they'll take all of that into consideration when they're doing their tackle inspection, okay? And in addition to that, you're not going to have to always come in to do a tackle inspection. We know that driving out might be far for you, whatever it is. So we're going to have our people, our ambassadors, and our administrators in all the different regions that you can go see, and they will conduct the tackle inspection with you in your area. That's close to you and convenient for you.
That's great, because it makes a big difference. But it also shows that's a community. We've got a community of people. We don't have many people, and we don't. It's far to drive from Florida to wherever this place is. Then we've got one of our senior members who lives down the road from you. Yeah. Just meet at the garage, show him your sticks, show him what you got, and then he'll sign off on your card, like you said, and you don't have to go to the venue. You can just pitch up at the venue, show your card, take an inspection. I've spoken about this, and this. He's checked my rigs. Go fish.
Oh. But it's a learning experience, Keaton. I think that's the biggest part of it. It's a learning experience. You know, you mustn't be afraid of going to a venue, even if you're not kitted out correctly in terms of line or whatever it may be. But it's a learning experience. You know, you can't be afraid of learning, and sometimes you have to make mistakes in order to learn. And I think that's what 100%. People have to be okay with. You know, if you're scared of making mistakes, you won't grow as an angler. And I think that's with everything in life. You know, but I read some of the comments here. You know, there's some very important points that people are saying, that, you know, it's tackle inspection. You know, especially for new anglers out there, and it's the way to learn. You know, as you said, this is about protecting the fish and essentially doing things in the right way. And I mean, you look in Europe, like you say, 60, 70-pound carp being caught on 15-pound line. You know, that's just crazy. But very exciting stuff, Julius. I think big props to the Specimen Academy. And I know there's a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes with you and your team. And I think from an Academy member perspective, and having joined it a year and a half ago, you know, Specimen Academy and the likes of brands out there that have really, really assisted me in becoming comfortable with what I'm doing now, you know, and confident. I think that's the key. And as you say, there's many ways of doing things, and there's no right way. There's many ways that work, and it's just about broadening your knowledge. And I think now, with all these exciting things that are coming to the plate, I know for a lot of new anglers out there, they must be itching to get onto the bank and try these new things.
That's so cool, hey? What Alex just said is so cool, because he started off as a bass angler. Yeah. Have you seen the picture on the thumbnail? Alex is holding a damn hippo or a submarine. That thing is massive. I think let's move this conversation on. Like, we've done our announcements. It's fantastic. I'm so excited. I'm itching to see this place, wherever it is. So let's get into this. Let's talk about a couple of subjects briefly, so that guys can learn. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
I've got my little book here. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so let's start with what Alex was saying. Blanking. What is your thoughts in let's say 20 seconds? What is your thoughts on blanking? Alex, you go first.
You cannot be afraid of blanking. I know when I first started, you know, especially new in specimen angling, you want to get that bigger fish, you're eager, and it can be quite disheartening first couple sessions when you've really had nothing. But you honestly cannot be afraid of blanking. You know, you've got to take every session as it comes. You know, even if it's something small, like, you know, understanding a venue a little bit better, you've got to take the positives out of it, because best believe when you go back for that next session on that same body of water, you got to go in confident. You got to say, listen, even though my last session I didn't get anything, but I'm going in there with a positive mindset. And I think not being afraid of blanking will make you more successful on the bank.
Nice. Divan, give us your 2 cents.
Yeah, look, blanking is part of the sport, simply put. No one enjoys blanking, but it is part of the sport. As long as you learn from that session, you can learn a lot more from a blank than you can learn from smashing the fish in a session. So if you take it the correct way, it's definitely...
me too. I was also giggling at the comments. Sorry, Divan. I'm going to go back to you, but
No worries.
Capture TV says, you don't blank. You just run out of time.
100%.
Sorry, Divan, you were saying yes?
As long as you treat it the right way, it's really not that bad. You can learn a lot more from blanking when you smash the fish. So that's my short take on it.
Julio, 20 seconds, go.
Have you ever seen anyone think harder and longer and more intensively than an oak that is blanking on the side of the bench? Let me tell you, what Divan said is 100% spot on. You learn more by applying your mind to why you are blanking, what's going on with the conditions. You will scrutinize every small thing that could possibly be wrong, and you will improve yourself as an angler. You learn a lot from blanking. You can't learn everything, but you learn a hell of a lot about fish behavior, the way they feed, and how you need to adjust your fishing. I learn every day from the academy and my members and stuff, but I learn a whole ton of stuff when I blank, which I did like recently this weekend. So I feel very learned, you know, because I just learned a lesson. I just got the hiding this weekend. But like I said, fantastic way to learn. It's like that friend that always comes to borrow money from you, and you always end up giving him money and never getting it back. But you always learn a lesson. You do learn a lesson from it, okay?
Hey, I've got to tell you something, and I saw this comment earlier on Instagram, and someone posted a very nice picture. I think it was Sean.
Yes,
and,
Mr. Tucker himself.
Mr. Tucker, he posted a beautiful picture, and some of the comments in there, you know, you can see when a guy's blanked at a session when he's taking beautiful pictures of the sunrise or the sunset or his tackle or everything else.
That's true. Love it. Sean is a legend. I love that guy. What a legend. My two cents on blanking is it gives you an opportunity to slow down. My big thing with carp fishing, and the biggest thing that helps my fishing and has turned me into a better angling, is to slow down, listen, smell, hear, like watch. Because the carp will give you signs. Your watercraft will give you signs. And if you're too busy catching fish, you're not watching the whole environment, because it is an environment. A quick story, what happened to me the other day, there was a couple of guys fishing at Imrentia. I was waiting for a client to just okay a video or something like that. But I went just to visit the guys on the bank at Imrentia. And I just removed myself from the group for a bit, stood in a tree. And while the guys are talking rubbish, no, I was just sat there and I watched. Well, I stood there and watched. And I watched, and the fish turned. While the guys are talking crap down there, they missed it. And another fish turned. And so I went to Dean DeBrain, and I said, Dean, cast there and use this wafter. Go for it. Just do it. He cast there, he used that wafter, and he was the only one that caught. And that made me feel very clever, because I was like, oh, look, it worked. But, like what I say is not a rule, obviously. I'm like everyone else. But it's that blanking teaches you to watch. And like you said, it scrutinizes your own angling. What have I done? Have I not backleaded it properly? How is my rig sitting? And so it'll make you check those things and go to the bank next time with more confidence.
But Keaton, I think you nailed it. You nailed it. Sorry, just one more thing. There was one thing that you said in watching the water. You know, you look. I'm addicted to these YouTube videos of Corda, Nash. I mean, you name it. All of those big companies overseas. And you look at all those top class anglers, and what is the thing that is very common with all of them? It's watching the water. They'll sit there for 2 hours, 3 hours watching the water, because the fish don't lie. You know, finding location and seeing where the fish are at. That will change your fishing forever. And like you said, if you're watching the water, you know, it really will assist you in a great way. And that's evident. So well done for getting him to catch that fish.
I felt so clever, because half of me was going, you're such an idiot, why do you think you know better, stop doing this. And then when I got that message, I was like, hey, it worked. Okay, so 20 seconds. Divan, backleading. Do you backlead? How do you backlead? Why do you backlead?
Okay, so I do backlead, not always, but especially when using a boat and something like that, it is ideal to backlead. And when you know there is canoers or whatever in the water, I do prefer backleading. I would, however, not backlead if there's like snags or rocks or whatever close to the tips of the rods. It has happened in the past that the backlead has gotten stuck and your bite indication really gets compromised by that.
And what type of backlead do you use?
Normally the sliding type, so not captive, that's with the cable that goes onto your port or whatever.
Okay, cool. Julio, 20 seconds. Go.
I use all the types of backleads you can imagine. Captives.
On the same line.
Actually, sometimes, yes, not all of them, but at least two types, some scenarios. Backlead's an extremely powerful way to conceal your line, to make it more convenient, like Divan said, when you're using boats and if there's any canoers and stuff out in the water. The times that I wouldn't use a backlead, remember, if you're fishing a dam that has a very steep topography, where the bottom actually goes like this, and you're fishing all the way
like
on
Bassig.
By you backleading here on the shallow margin, it's not going to make a difference at all.
It's just going to bow across that thing.
Right, so there's no reason to put a backlead on and sacrifice the indication. If you are fishing a more sloped gradient, more gentle, right, you put that on, you get your backlead in. And I also find my best tip for overcoming the lack of indication when using backleads is do not fish your backleads right under your rod tip. Okay, because that acute 90-degree angle, the acuteness of the angle that allows away your indication. So if you are wanting to improve your indication a little bit, just get that backlead about 1 meter, up to 2 meters away from the rod tip if you can. And the less of that angle that there is, the better your indication will be. And also, don't feel shy to use your sensitivity settings on your alarms to overcome any sort of drop in sensitivity.
Nice. Alex, your 2 cents?
You make me go after Julio. He's answered everything on my behalf, I think. But
that's a challenge. Think you can do it.
I personally do backlead, sliding backleads all the time. But as the guy said, that it does vary on venues depending on the gradient of the actual venue itself. But I feel confident when I backlead. Makes me feel like my line is pinned to the bottom. In terms of getting, some people will use liners to assist them on locating fish, but I feel that backleading does give you a sense of security, knowing that your line is pinned down to the ground, and it makes me feel like confident when I'm fishing. But in terms of venues where there's a lot of crabs and stuff like that, you've got to do a bit of your research before you backlead as well.
Yeah, and crabs do love that mono.
Oh, they do.
I think we've all done it, where you pick up that rod in the morning and it's just like, and then there's really nothing, and there's an active rig in there, and you feel like a real prick.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you were the ruler of the world, the boss of the world, what you say goes. There's no question, no government, no nothing. If you say it, goes. Off with Keaton's head, Keaton's head's gone, kind of vibe. Lead is toxic. It's a fact. Okay? Lead is a toxic thing. You can get lead poisoning and it poisons the water. It's a fact. It does happen. Whether it's through the plastic of the coating or not, it will do it eventually. If you were the ruler of the world, would you choose to ban lead? Let's go. Alex, I'll let you go first this time.
Okay, well, that's an interesting question. I think there's ways to substitute lead. So I would definitely go. There's definitely ways to do it. I would definitely get rid of lead down the line. I mean, if you look at the effects that it does have, there's a lot of ways one can substitute that. I'm all for that.
Okay, Divan.
Yeah, look, the thing is, I also agree it can be beneficial to substitute lead. You just need to find an affordable substitute. So that's going to be the main problem. I know in the UK, some of the lakes have started to ban lead. I know some people are using glass leads, so that might be an option. But
Glass is a clever one.
You're just going to have to look at what options you can get. So, I'm all for it.
Julio?
Definitely. With the growing of our sport, just like the growing of technology and society as a whole, we find that we find something that works, that's great, and then we just take it and we manufacture it, and everyone has it, and then we don't think about the after effects and what's going to happen in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and lead is toxic. It is extremely toxic. Currently, there are many different types of lead substitutes that you can use. You mentioned tungsten. Tungsten is fantastic. It's still a metal though, and my idea is that what we're currently looking at, one of the things that I'm busy with on my side, is leads made from high density concrete. It's not as heavy as the metal lead or tungsten.
Yeah, not many things will be as dense as lead. Your leads will be 3 times the size for a same 3-ounce lead. That's
what we managed to do with some of the testers is get it down to about 1.7 times the size of.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Lead by using a combination of things, and most of it being made of high density concrete. And this is the same concrete that they use to plaster off your radioactive reactors and things out at the nuclear power plants and stuff like that. So it's a really strong, really dense concrete or cement. I'm saying concrete, cement that is used there. And there's so many different options to actually look at. Even lead coatings. A buddy of mine is in plastic recycling. So what we're looking at is maybe finding or recycling plastic bottles of the right colors, and using that, breaking it down to a very fine powder, and using that to coat leads with, if you want your more eco-friendly type of lead coatings and things. So it's not fresh virgin plastics that are being manufactured and reused in the coating.
Yeah. It's the better of two evils.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, here's a fun one. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. You have set up your rod. You have made the rig. You've chosen the bait. You've casted it in. You've done everything, okay? Your rod is on the pod. And then you go to the throne. You go and have a cuck, okay? And you're sitting on the throne. And then a fish pulls, but it turns out to be the world record fish. And because you are not with your rod, you can't even hear it, your friend picks it up. And he fights this fish and lands this fish. Whose name goes in the record book? Is it yours because it's your rod? Or is it your friend? Julia's like bugging the friend.
You are like literally explaining my worst possible nightmare. I love my Peggy. I love all my academy members, Divan, Keaton, Alex. I love all you guys. But if you pull that move on me, we are no longer friends. I am taking it for myself. If they don't find you, they don't find you.
But you're not with your rod, hey? You're not with your rod.
Yeah,
so
well,
would you be cross with them if they picked up your rod, even though you're not with the rod?
No.
Carp care in mind.
I wouldn't mind if they picked up the rod and landed the fish. It's actually the correct thing to do. You don't want the fish running around with line hanging off its mouth.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when it comes to who collects the record, I'll give you guys a little mention on the footnotes of my world record article that they're going to write about.
Thanks for landing my fish.
Thank you for the assistance in handling the fish at some point.
And for taking my photos.
Alex, what would you say? Would you say it's your friend or it's yours?
100% it's mine. 100%.
Yeah.
If I play
that, my fish, leave my fish alone.
No, I was saying if I had to do everything to the build up, and if I'm not there when that run goes, and I'm not there to land the fish, hey buddy, it's still my fish. Thanks, you can come catch you while I hold my fish.
I'm on the opposite end, eh? That's my friend's fish, and it's happened to me before.
Yes.
Where I've had I set up my rods, everything's done by me, and I was stalking further down, and I was with Brandon Main, and I had my alarm's receiver on me, but and I was within the range, but for some reason it didn't go off. So Brandon and I was stalking. So Brandon and I was stalking down the pond, just further away, and Brandon's girlfriend Tamika was sitting by the rods, watching the rods, and my rods went, and that was my PB, and I didn't count it as my PB, because when I got back, she was still fighting the fish. I didn't take it from her, because for me, if someone else picks that rod up, it's not me. It's not my fish. I've got to do everything. That's just
made
my
us look like such bad guys now.
No, that's not bad, guys. That's your thing. It's everyone's got, like you, Specimen Academy. Everyone's different, and it was a wonderful fish for Tamika to catch. It was a 12-point summing at the time, and it was at Laurentia, and it was a great fish to watch. And I was just like, serves me right. I want to go stalking with a rod in the water. That'll teach me.
Someone's comment here, that fish belongs to no one. It didn't happen. ...
If that fish weighs 57 pounds, it bloody did happen.
Listen,
57 kilos.
You're a good man. To say that that's not your fish and stuff like that, you're a good man. Because you're a better man than me. I'll be smiling like I won a lot of it.
There we go.
Like, I didn't land it, but I'm going to be there holding the thing and smiling for all the photos and telling everyone about my rigs and this and that. Listen, if it is not my PB, if it is not a world record or whatever it is, we all need to share in catching fish. I mean, if somebody picks up a fish on my rod, great. You know what? No problem. If I'm not there, it's your fish 100%.
Yes.
But buddy,
I do have to say this. Wait.
Ugh.
Let me put it this way as well, because you'll think I'm less of a nice guy now. If I'm with earshot of my rods, okay, so say I'm 70 meters from my rods, but I can hear my alarm and I can see that thing coming. And for whatever reason, a friend or whatever is closer to my rods. So there is a possibility of me getting to my rod. I'm not on the can. I'm not in the shower. There is a possibility. If someone picks up my rod that is running, I will want to murder that person. I'll pick up that backstick and I'm fussy like that. If I can get to that rod, or if one of you guys can get to one of your rods, I will stand this close to your rod, watch it while you run from wherever you're coming, and I will scream and I won't touch it.
We're going to do a session with Keaton, and we're going to test this theory, guys. What do you scheme?
I won't touch your rod. I won't touch your rod. If
so.
There's a chance of you getting to your rod and it's still within that fish's safety like things. If the fish is in the snags, and then maybe it'll change. But if there's a possibility of you getting to a rod, I will not touch it.
No, we're talking about touching your rods, bro.
You touch my rod, you're going to end up in a dam. But
I'm going to make you sit down.
That.
We're going to make you sit down and test your patience. Let's say we're going to get you a run, like a proper run, and then you're going to sit in your chair while one of us slowly picks up that rod off the pod. Let's see how many seconds you can last before you get off that chair.
Let's see how many seconds you can be under the water.
Julio, you pick up his rod, I'll hand him the net.
Alex, just hold him back. You just, with those muscles, those guns, just hold him.
Yes. Okay, cool. Next one. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What is the most important? Okay, 20 seconds. What is the most important skill? Okay, let's put it this way. Someone's coming into fishing. That person knows nothing about specimen. Nothing. Not a thing. Mm-hmm. They know what a rod and reel is, and they know how to cast it. That's it. What is the first thing they should learn as a new specimen angler? Divan, go.
Carp safety, like how to land a fish properly, how to have rigs that are safe for the fish. So in case you do break off, that fish isn't trading 20 meters of line or whatever behind it. So for me, the first aspect has to be carp safety, and if you land the fish, how to make sure that fish goes back in the same, if not better condition when it was.
Now Divan's going to make me feel like an arsehole, because that's such a stellar thing to say. Oh, okay. I wish I was you, Divan. Julio, what's your opinion?
All right. Once again, my views are not always fishing like core fishing related. The first thing that I would teach someone in the sport is never back down from what you want to achieve in the sport. People are going to say mean things to you. People are going to talk to you about guppies. People are going to talk to you about amateur hour. People are going to say a whole bunch of things to you.
Yeah.
Do not listen. Look at that water, what we were talking about. You watch that water, you look for your fish, you practice the best possible way of specimen angling that you can, and you get your fish. And you will be proud of every single catch, and you will be proud because there's one thing that I can teach somebody is that you need to be proud of yourself. You need to focus on what you want, never back down. And remember, the key to a good specimen angler, how a specimen angler should be rated, is not on the size of their PB. The big misconception. Yeah. It's on your consistency. I measure an angler on his consistency, not the size of his biggest fish. And when you focus on that, you get one person who's catching one 35-pound fish in 6 months, right? And then you get one person who's catching regularly on every session, every second session, fish in excess of 10 kilos. That person, to me, is the epitome of a specimen angler. You've managed to like suss out where the bigger fish are and how to get to them successfully more regularly. And also remember, size will come. You will get your PBs. Just focus on consistency and never back down.
What you said is a real thing for all those guys that are getting into fishing in general. It's and I just want to put my little 2 cents on top of Julio's thing. Sorry, Alex, I'll get to you now. It's your own journey. It's your journey, not anyone else's journey. It's your journey. It's did you improve for yourself? Because if you start out and you immediately compare yourself to Alex's hippo that he's caught, you're going to feel inadequate. You're going to stop fishing. But if you decide you're going to go and you're going to catch, I'm going to catch a carp, my first carp, and then you catch that one. Then you catch one that's slightly bigger. Let's say it's 2.5 kilos. That will make you feel much better and you will keep fishing. And even though these people come with their bullshit, they will pass away because it will be your journey and you will enjoy fishing, and it's a sport that you can join and you can love and join the community that will support, that you will get support from. Alex, your 2 cents on what's the first thing they should know?
So my 2 cents, I think the first thing would be, why are you doing it? Why are you going into specimen angling? What is your reason behind it? You've got to have a motivation as to why you're going to do it. And the second thing is, which I think is one of the most important things, is handling a fish. How does one handle a fish, especially when you're in specimen? The aim of specimen angling is getting into the bigger fish. But now, what are you doing to ensure the safety of those bigger fish once you land them? That, for me, is the most important. Because if you're not doing that, you're not ensuring the safety of the fish. If the bigger fish aren't looked after, they're not going to look after you. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So it's a win-win. But yeah, my two cents, why are you doing it? What's your mindset before you start specimen angling? Do you want to just to have a picture with a big fish, or are you doing it for other reasons? I think that's important as well. And as Julia said, the size of the fish doesn't really matter. It's more about mindset. What are you doing in your mind that makes the difference?
My 2 cents is, what if I could give anyone advice on what the first thing they should learn, in my opinion, I'm going to feel like a dick because your carp care thing is true, and it's really, that's proper stuff. That's proper specimen anglers talking. My thing is, learn how to find the fish. Because in my opinion, you can have the best bait, you can have the best rigs, you can have 100,000 Rand fish finder. If you don't know how to watch, learn, listen, and find the fish in that dam, 90% of the fish are in 10% of the water. If you don't know how to find them, you will waste time. And I think that's a lot of the problem that the papgooi guys have, because when they come in, I'm talking about the average papgooiers, because the great papgooiers, they find the fish. That's how they're brilliant.
Yeah.
But you will where you cast your rig and where you bait up is probably the most important thing. Even though it's the least exciting, rigs are very exciting. Oh, the latest Roddy rig. Oh, I've got a Kamakura, this, that. Those things are great. But if you don't put it in the right spot, you're not going to catch.
Indeed.
That Kamakura can't do its work if it's not sitting underneath the lip of a fish.
And you know what? I think it's so true what you're saying. We always go back to this cliche in specimen angling. You can have the best bait, the best rig, the best whatever, and drop it in the wrong spot. You'll never catch a fish. You can have a mediocre rig, a mediocre boilie, a mediocre whatever, but it's in the right spot, and you are going to catch a fish. All right. And I think from a core fishing aspect, what you said could not be truer. If somebody can learn how to find the fish, learn how to know what bottom you're fishing on, and a little bit about feature finding and topography of the bottom and all of that, and fish to that correctly. So if you can find out where the fish are, know what you're fishing on, and present the right rig and bait for that, buddy, you're going to have a much easier time than I did when I started. Wow.
Yeah. Me too. Where's the fish? I'm going to cast there.
Yeah.
That looks nice.
Pretty much, yeah.
As Eugene said, Vrystaat. Ugh, man. Okay, so moving from that, 20 seconds. So we'll do this last question, and if you guys have got any questions in the comment, pop it in. We'll answer those. Then we'll do this last question, and then we'll go to the questions in the comments. So, 20 seconds, how do you go and target bigger fish? What do you change in your fishing that targets you, let's say, instead of catching a 1 kilo fish, would catch you maybe a 6 or a 7 or maybe a 10, 15 kilo? Julio, you first.
All right. I think one of the biggest misconceptions when it comes to catching big fish is big baits. Okay. A lot of people, that traditional way of thinking that if I want to catch a big fish, I need to use a bigger bait. So they go over to 24s and 30 mil boilies and all of that. Most of my big fish, and I believe all of my PBs that I've caught have been on smaller hook baits. Okay. The next thing is that's mostly in winter. In summertime, you try that same tactic and you're going to pick up a lot of smaller fish as well, but it works very, very well for me in winter. Another thing is the smaller fish are very inexperienced when it comes to picking up dangers, and they're a lot less cautious than the large fish. One tip that I can give and always works for me is if I am targeting a bigger fish when there's a whole bunch of smaller fish around, is place my hook baits a little bit away from the initial fed spot that I feed. So if I'm feeding out an area and I know there's a whole lot of very small fish around, I know that they will get onto that feed. When they come past, they're going to herd over it and they're just going to munch everything that's there. By moving your hook bait over to a slightly, what I would always look for, water that's slightly deeper, maybe a little bit deeper, or on some sort of a close structure to where the feeding is, and drop a line. Then majority of the time I end up getting bigger fish even in a situation like that, because they're just more cautious. They come in, they start feeding off the edges. They don't just run into the middle and pick up the bait. Another thing, do not underestimate the power of a single high attract hook bait any time of year. Cast it out in the right places, drop it in the right places where you see the fish, where you know they are. It's very inconspicuous. It's not this big, scary bunch of food at the bottom, that's like, can spook them off.
That they've seen before.
And also, the last thing I can say, do not underestimate whittling down your baits. What I mean by that is if you've got a pop-up, I take out I take a knife or a scissor, there we go, and I etch into it some lines and some little like holes and pieces of it. Kind of looks like it's been crabbed, and it gives a lot more natural, like, hey, this has been sitting here for a long time. A couple of crabs have
looks safer.
Yeah, it looks much safer and a lot more inconspicuous, and I end up nicking off some bites with that, and usually larger fish.
With what was I going to say? Oh yeah, you're talking about putting your hook bait slightly outside your feeder, your area, your say your mouse trap. You put your bait on the outside. Watched a very interesting set of videos that I think he was French, or he was some European oak, and he put in cameras as like thinking tackle, not thinking tackle, underwater carp videos, the quarter one, like that, but he was obviously in a different language. And he did research and proper, like, changed one thing at a time, you know, and that's how you do proper stats and stuff like that. And he saw that the fish would start on the outside and work their way in. And sometimes they did a color thing as well, and certain colors the fish would go straight in. If it is different color, they would eat that bait last. So it was quite interesting things like that. But it makes quite a lot of sense. Okay, Alex, what do you change? What do you change to catch a big hippo?
You know, you can't overcomplicate things. I know some people tend to think they need to overcomplicate, you know, add more traction to the feeding boilies or this or that, you know. You don't want to overcomplicate it. These bigger fish are big for a reason. They're clever. And like Julio said, you know, in the winter months, you know, I tend to go to a smaller hook bait. And I must say, I've learned a lot from guys like Julio, Mark Williams, from Psycho, Brandon, Anthony, all these you know, guys that you kind of look up to and want to be at that level. But, you know, in terms of that process, you know, really sticking to the basics. Don't overcomplicate it, because when you start overcomplicating things, you start doubting yourself. Now, sure, if I did it this way, what would have happened? You know, stick to basics. If you're comfortable with a certain rig, stick with it, because that rig will catch you fish. And if you're confident in what you've got out there, you will catch the fish. It's just a matter of finding the fish, using your eyes. These are your best tools you can use. Locate where the fish are, and you know, that's my go-to.
Nice. Divan?
Yeah, look, ultimately, like Julio said earlier, you need to find the fish in order to catch them. So if you can find the area where the bigger fish are, keep it like you would usually fish. Personally, I don't think bigger baits mean bigger fish. I fish single pop-ups, well, like a pop-up on a Ronnie, 95% of the time. Yeah. And both my current PBs come from a pop-up. Actually, one of them come from a pop-up just casted on its own, no feed around it or anything. So you don't need a big bed or feed or anything like that.
Nice. My 2 cents is just location. Go to a place. I'm talking about a dam that has bigger fish.
Yeah,
you can't catch what's not there.
Yeah, so if you're always fishing the Vaal and you're struggling to catch bigger fish, the easiest way is to go to a Laurentia or a Bersig where there are big fish there. You know that they're there. Then it's a matter of doing what Alex said, what Julio said, what Divan said. Then you can apply it because you know the fish are there. In terms of tactics-wise, I think you just got to make sure your stuff is properly hidden and properly presented. Like Alex said, those carp are smart. The big ones are smart. And it's mostly because they're experienced. Carp grow slowly, and they're not. Most of the carp in South Africa are slow growers. We don't have a lot of mega carp out there yet. They're starting. But a lot of the carp that we've got are the 10 kilos, the 15 kilos are 10, 15, 20 years old. These fish have been caught a few times. They know what a rig looks like. So you've got to make sure that rig is flat and it looks like it's not there. Like for those who want a tip at Bersig, a longer hook link is because the fish spot that lead core in that clear water. They spot that lead and they fish away from it because they know somewhere there's a pointy bitey thing that's going to bite them in the lip. If your hook link's slightly longer, then they'll go, well, I'm sure this one's safe, and then you can nab one. So that's at certain venues, because other venues a long hook link won't work. It depends on it's a venue specific thing. Okay, so we have got IK59 says, what is a random item you always keep in your kit and why? So let's say, what item would you never go to the bank without? Let's go with Divan. Sorry,
like
Julia, I saw your hand late.
A kettle.
So Divan, go for it.
Like a coffee. Kettle.
Oh, coffee.
Oh, yeah, coffee.
Kettle. It's like Dettol. Why?
No.
I know COVID-19 is everywhere, but so nice coffee.
Divan?
What's your favorite brand, Divan?
Sommer Rick coffee.
Rick Coffee Instant.
Hey, what about the hot
Nice.
chocolate from this weekend? That was
Oh,
quite good
chocolate,
as well,
yeah.
huh?
Ah,
know about it.
chocolate.
Yeah,
Julio, what is yours,
He
sir?
was sitting on his own.
Hey,
Julio, what is your piece of kit that you'll never leave?
a good lighter, a very good, reliable lighter. It comes in handy in so many different situations. When you are sorting out your chod rigs, your Ronnie rigs, when you're doing your snowman presentations. And why I say a good lighter is because when it's windy, the worst thing is trying to find a nice quiet space so you can go and blob that bait floss. It is the most frustrating thing. Okay, so what I usually recommend is going out to Chanamore, getting one of those little blowtorch type lighters.
Yo,
Use that in the wind. You can use that anywhere, and it just makes the baiting up process so easy. And you find that as you are progressing in your rig building, you'll find that you'll need to blob things a lot more often. Like if you're making your chod rigs, if you're making certain other rigs, and
or your knots
you know,
even.
yeah, and even when you're splicing leader and stuff like that, you want to blob those frays out to make it easier and neater. So having a good lighter, it might not seem like something that you need in your tackle box, but a good lighter goes a long way in your fishing, especially with specimen. Yeah.
You, Alex, what is your little piece of kit?
I see Mr. Shiraz himself said the credit card to go to SNZ.
Yes, Shiraz. That credit card
You're a
details so you can
legend.
sit on the bank. Go to the
You're a legend.
snztackle.co.za.
And I see there's a question here from Uncle Louis from Specimen Politics. Question for Alex: when is bottom opening? Uncle Louis, that's a very good question. That's a venue that I've set myself for this winter, but unfortunately we haven't been able to fish there yet. But my number one thing, probably my baiting needle, eh?
Yeah,
That's crucial for
that's
me.
one thing you never leave behind because you will struggle.
You will struggle without that baiting needle. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me that's mine.
Mine is this. Okay, other than a baiting needle, these. I use braid a lot. And these little things, if you've ever used braid and you don't have these, your dentist will see you next week, boy, because you'll still sit there.
That's true. That's very true.
Okay, so before we leave, remember to go to snztackle.co.za for all those great brands. Remember to go to cmfcarp.co.za for that 10% discount. Link is in the description below. And I wanted to thank you all guys for a wonderful podcast. Thank you so much, Divan. Thank you, Julio. Thank you, Alex. You guys are absolutely incredible. I really appreciate what you are doing for our sport. You are absolute legends. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having us, Keaton.
Thank
Was
you for
nice.
having us, Keaton. And I think this YouTube channel is beneficial for many anglers out there. I know there's a lot of people that are watching this, and I think this is the platform for a lot of anglers to grow. And Julia and the rest of the Specimen Academy guys, I think I'm happy to say that I am where I am now because of people like you guys. And it's really not trying to put and blow the horn for you guys, but it's really coming from a genuine place. And like I said, there's a lot of people in this industry that have been extremely beneficial, as I mentioned earlier. And I think there's a lot of potential in South Africa and to get the specimen community to a great level. So big ups to everyone that's been involved.
Yeah,
And
well
then
done,
from my
guys.
side, I just want to say, Keaton, it has been an absolute pleasure for us to be here and to share this space with you. And whether you guys have been around in the specimen game for quite some time, or if you've just started, everyone here should know that the Specimen Academy is doing a lot of good work. We're fairly new. It's Tipp Topp Fishing has been doing this for years. Keaton has been doing fantastic work. I remember learning on his channel back in the day, showing me all these cool little things. He had the one challenge, the one time where he said, just give us your challenges and we'll pick one. He mentioned mine, but he never picked mine. He never did it.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. You said next time, but the time never came. But it's fine. It's fine.
We'll do another one.
There's a challenge.
We'll do the Julio bloody challenge. Sorry.
But this shows. I mean, it's Tipp Topp Fishing is really one of the originals when it comes to large-scale development within the specimen angling community. And I want to say, on behalf of myself personally, and on behalf of my members, Keaton, thank you so much for all your hard work and everything that you've put into the sport. You are
Thanks so
really
much.
an example.
Yeah.
That means a lot to me. Thank you. Especially
done.
coming from you guys.
100%.
Yeah.
Okie doke. If you guys haven't subscribed, please subscribe right now so you can see the next couple of videos. There are some cool things coming. There's some cool reviews coming, new products into the country. And yeah, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate what you guys are doing for the industry. You Specimen Academy guys. Make sure to go to the Specimen Academy Facebook page right now. Like and follow their stuff. Look out for the app in the description below. And that is it. Remember to like, share, comment, do all those cool things, and I'll see you next time on It's Tipp Topp Fishing. Till then, tight lines, guys.